controversial components added by Republicans. The Cary Republican says
this represents an historic investment in our schools, particularly with respect to class size.
State lawmakers are set to study the idea of breaking up some school districts across the state. A newly formed joint legislative study committee is charged with reporting back by May 1st on whether to recommend passing legislation to divide previously merged school districts. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson says the U.S. has a well-developed plan for peace in the Middle East. Speaking alongside his counterpart in Jordan today, Tillerson told reporters,
I have seen the plan, the elements of the plan. It's been under development for a number of months. I have consulted with them on the plan, identified areas that we feel need further work.
And North Carolina's iconic Cape Hatteras Lighthouse has gone dark for about a month while officials await custom-made parts for storm damage repairs. You're listening to NCN News.
I'm Patrick Johnson with this week's Undaunted ECU Spotlight, and it shines on men's basketball player Addison Hill from South Central High School. The junior applied sociology major served as a team manager as a freshman before earning a spot on the roster as a walk-on last year. He's seen action in 9 games, including a career-high 13 minutes versus Charlotte in 2016. ECU celebrates Addison Hill of Winterville and all of our Undaunted student athletes. For the latest on ECU athletics, visit ECUPirates.com.
Break away from the everyday to Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue.
In less than 30 seconds, I know I can make you hungry. Ready? Here we go. Chicken breast, chicken wing, drumstick, pulled pork barbecue, potato salad, coleslaw, sweet iced tea. I don't know about you, but I'm starving. Where am I going? I'm headed to Smithfield's.
Break away from the everyday to Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue.
Debate continues in the Senate on immigration and how to deal with those who are brought here as children illegally. Senator Tom Tillis spoke on the Senate floor about the future of immigration policy and says there has to be an assessment of who comes to the country and why.
To have such a small number of our immigrant population, some 1 to 1 million every year, come in without any regard to merit is irresponsible.
Methamphetamine out of control in the streets of America. With that, here's CBS's Larry Miller.
Overshadowed by the opioid crisis, the use of crystal meth is growing across the country. The New York Times reports there's more methamphetamine on the streets today, more people using it, and more dying. U.S. border agents are seizing up to 20 times the amount they did a decade ago. Officials say the price has plummeted, and there's been a huge increase in purity. Public health experts say little is being done to combat the surge in meth because the focus is now on opioids.
A North Carolina Republican who served in the General Assembly for 20 years is not seeking re-election. Representative John Blust of Greensboro made his announcement on Tuesday on the House floor just before the legislature adjourned until May. This year's candidate filing began Monday. Blust served in the Senate for 2.5 years in the mid-1990s. A Renaissance artist can still draw a crowd. CBS News correspondent Deborah Rodriguez.
A divine draftsman trumps a savage beauty at New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art. A just-ended exhibit of Michelangelo's drawings has made the top 10 list of the Met's most visited exhibits ever. In the process, it bumped the late fashion designer Alexander McQueen's 2011 show from the ranking. 1978's King Tut exhibit, still number 1. The Mona Lisa's appearance at the Met for a mere month in 1963 is second, followed by 1983's collection of artwork from the Vatican.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Get your message to the thousands. Call the WCAB Sales Department today at 287-3356.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The White House facing more questions about former top Trump aide Rob Porter and the changing stories about his resignation over domestic violence accusations.
Shifting over who knew what and when about the domestic abuse allegations against the president's former staff secretary, Rob Porter. The White House first said the FBI was still conducting a background check, but the Bureau said that was finished months ago. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders then blamed a personnel office in the White House.
The White House Personnel Security Office, which is staffed by career officials, may have received information.
Sanders says that office had not yet made a recommendation on Porter. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
American snowboarder Shaun White is now a 3-time gold medal winner after taking the half pipe in South Korea.
Honestly, I'm sure you can tell by my reactions at the bottom of the pipe, but this meant the world to me.
Afterwards, he was asked about sexual harassment allegations made against him.
You know, honestly, here to talk about the Olympics, not, gossip.
He was sued for harassment by a former member of his band and settled the suit with her last year. The Senate is off to a rather slow start on its open-ended debate on DACA and immigration. Republican plans for votes yesterday fell through. Safe landing after a scary ride on a United Airlines plane bound for Honolulu.
It was huge, almost felt like an explosion and a huge jolt.
A passenger on board flight 1175 from San Francisco lost part of the housing of one of its engines. You could see the malfunction from the window seat. The FAA investigating. And a best dog in show, New York last night.
The Bichon Frise is top dog at Westminster this year. Flynn had the judges at first bark, and his owner called it a drop-the-mic performance, saying the little boy is going into retirement. At the end of this year, a champion. But first, it's a VIP tour of New York City, complete with lunch at Sardi's. At Westminster, Daria Albinger, ABC News, New York.
You're listening to ABC News.
Doors are being slammed in your face, and bad credit is holding you back from buying a house, car, even getting a credit card. $99 can put your credit back to a 720 or higher. That's right, just $99 per credit bureau. Bankruptcy, tax liens, judgments, and even late pays can be removed from credit reports by calling the Giving Days Foundation. A nonprofit organization is here to help. Federal law allows you to challenge each and every item on your credit report. We'll recalculate your personal credit score for only $99 per credit bureau and repair your personal credit for free. Be one of the first 10 callers. Take our personal credit challenge. Get your credit score to a 720. 800-482-4094. Call now to recalculate your personal credit score for only $99 per credit bureau and repair your personal credit for free. Call now. 800-482-4094. Don't miss this great free credit repair. Just be one of the first 10 callers. 800-482-4094.
One of President Trump's longtime lawyers now says he paid a porn star well over $100,000. ABC's Brad Milkey explains.
In a statement, Michael Cohen says, in a private transaction in 2016, I used my own personal funds to facilitate a payment of $130,000 to Miss Stephanie Clifford. Clifford, who goes by the name Stormy Daniels, allegedly had an affair with President Trump more than a decade ago and reportedly took the payment as hush money. A complaint to the Federal Election Commission calls it an in-kind campaign contribution. Cohen says neither the Trump organization nor the Trump campaign was involved.
The head of the EPA, Scott Pruitt, is now facing questions over some huge travel bills. On Capitol Hill, here's ABC's Mary Bruce.
Pruitt is now under investigation, just the latest in a string of administration officials under fire for their expensive travel tastes. Health Secretary Tom Price was fired after more than 24 work trips on luxury private planes.
With top American intelligence officials warning about possible Russian meddling in the 2018 midterm elections, Facebook now says it's working with law enforcement. The social network says it is in regular contact with the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security on ways to protect the elections from attacks. It is also applauding a new task force on election interference put together by the FBI. And your Gmail may be in for some changes. Google now says it is rolling out technology that will let the sender of an email change it even after it's been sent. This is ABC News.
As a small business owner, you're juggling it all, including customers' calls from your personal phone. But with Grasshopper, you get a business phone number and a business phone system from our mobile app, so you can work smarter, not harder. Grasshopper forwards calls, texts, even transcribes voicemails. Everything you need to simplify your business and stay responsive. With Grasshopper, there's no long-term contracts, and customer support is 24/7. Whether you're starting or growing your business, Grasshopper is the answer. Now get $20 off your first month when you visit grasshopper.com/radio.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Have you noticed what's going on at Oakland Feed and Seed? Cheapest price in town on propane refills. 20-pound cylinder, $11.99. Forklift cylinder, $17.99. And the 100-pound cylinders, $55.99. Whole corn, $6.99 for the 50-pound bag. 10-10-10 fertilizer, $9.50 for the 50-pound bag. 17-17-17, just $12.50 for the 50-pound bag. Check with Oakland Feed and Seed for all prices. You'll find them the cheapest around. It's a generational thing. Your dad and your dad's dad shopped at Oakland Feed and Seed. Oakland Road, Spindale, locally owned and operated.
We are transitioning back to warmer weather today. The real deep cold from yesterday is gone. Now we'll have mostly cloudy skies today, a chance for some showers coming in from the west, mainly in our northern counties for this afternoon. The high in the upper 50s to low 60s. Now tonight we're talking about clouds, maybe some fog, drizzle, light rain, warmer with the low in the low to mid 50s. Tomorrow is partly cloudy and much warmer. We advance into the low to mid 70s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Thanks very much, Mike. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday, the 14th day of February. Yes, Valentine's Day it is. And we're starting out at 37 degrees, warming up to about 61 around here. And there's beautiful, warm weather shaping up for tomorrow. 74 degrees expectations tomorrow with a slight chance of isolated showers. And then 71 on Friday. Then Saturday, rain likely, 60% chance of rain on Saturday and 20% on Sunday. That isolation of isolated showers is going to be in the forecast every day, but we'll get some sun out of all of that. We'll get some clouds. We'll get some, maybe a drizzle of rain here and there. But the temperature tomorrow is going to be outstandingly warm for this time of year. 74 tomorrow. Right now, again, 37 degrees. You're listening to WCAB Rutherfordton, serving the foothills of the Carolinas. 7 minutes after 7. Congratulations to Lee and Tiffany Smith. It's their 20th anniversary. They live up in Golden Valley. They're the ones we have been kind to today. Now we have these death announcements. Charles Walker, age 95, of Highway 221A, Forest City, died Monday at his residence. The funeral service will be held 3 o'clock Thursday at Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. Military honors to be accorded at the church by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. Entombment will follow in the mausoleum at Cleveland Memorial Park in Boiling Springs. The family will receive friends from 5 until 7 Wednesday evening at the Paget and King Mortuary. For Charles Hubert Walker. Mr. Charles Red O'Neill Humphreys of Cliffside, 85, died Monday, February the 12th. The family will receive friends at Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside this evening from 6 until 8 o'clock. Graveside services will be held 11 o'clock Thursday at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. Military honors will be provided by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. Eggers Funeral Home is serving the family of Charles Red O'Neill Humphreys. Hubert Bailey, age 90, passed away at his home Sunday, February the 11th. Funeral services will be held 3 p.m. Wednesday at Adaville Baptist Church. 3 o'clock today at Adaville Baptist Church. Burial will be in the Adaville Baptist Church Cemetery. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the funeral service at Adaville this afternoon. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Hubert Bailey. John Wayne McIntyre, age 70, of Ellenboro, died Sunday at his home. Funeral services will be held 1 p.m. Thursday at the Paget and King Chapel. Visitation will be from 6 until 8 this evening at the mortuary. In accordance with John's wishes, he will be cremated following the service. Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements for John Wayne McIntyre. Mrs. Denise Wood Petit, 65, of Bostique, died Saturday at her residence. No formal services are planned, and Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services serving the family of Mrs. Denise Wood Petit. Mrs. Mildred Edgerton Waters, age 97, of Rutherfordton, died Sunday at Hospice House of Rutherford County. The graveside service will be at Mount Vernon Baptist Church Cemetery, 2 o'clock Thursday. The family will greet friends after the graveside service in the sanctuary of the church. Mike Mahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Service in charge of the arrangements for Mrs. Mildred Edgerton Waters. Rotha Billy Hensley, 81, of Rutherfordton, died Monday. The family will receive friends from 2 until 3 Saturday at Oak Springs Baptist Church in Rutherfordton. The funeral will be conducted at 3 p.m. Saturday at Oak Springs Baptist Church. Burial will follow with military honors in the church cemetery provided by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. Crow's Mortuary is in charge of the arrangement for Rotha Billy Hensley. Shirley Ann Wright, age 65, of Arlington Street, Forest City, died Tuesday, February the 6th, at Hospice of the Carolina Foothill. A memorial service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Saturday at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. There will be a gathering of family and friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Shirley Ann Wright. Ann Bolin Wilson, age 58, of Forest City, died Saturday at Testa Hospice House in Kings Mountain. A gathering of friends and family in honor of Anna will be held from 2 until 4 p.m. Sunday at Harrelson Funeral Home. Harrelson Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements for Anna Bolin Wilson. Jane Shallow Talley and her husband Frank James Talley Jr. died Tuesday and Thursday, respectively. A memorial service will be held at a later date to celebrate the life of Frank and Jane and will be announced by the family. Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangement for Jane and Frank Talley. Those are the death announcements we have in the house this morning. The complete information on these can be heard at 11:35 today, and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report.
Do they really know? Simply Safe Home Security has just released their brand new system, folks, the all-new Simply Safe. It has been completely rebuilt and redesigned, new safeguards to protect against power outages, down Wi-Fi, cut landlines, bats, hammers, everything in between. But you still get the same fair and honest price, just $15 a month. And with Simply Safe, there's no contract. Visit simplysafeusa.com today. That's simplysafeusa.com.
Angie's List has collected millions of verified reviews of local home service providers, and now they're free for everyone to read. Angie's List makes it easy for you to find top-quality service providers in your area for any type of home project. Search for a great pro in your area, or let Angie's List instantly match you to a few who can do the job. To get the most reviews from real customers, all for free, go to angieslist.com today.
No silly giggling, no vulgar jokes, always family-friendly programming. From AM 590, WCAB, Rutherfordton.
Christian Faith Publishing is looking for Christian authors of all types of books. And unlike most publishers, Christian Faith Publishing reviews each and every book submitted to them, and they give you their feedback. And if they like what they read, they'll get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, the Apple iTunes Store, Barnes & Noble, and other outlets. They handle everything: editing, cover design, copyright protection, printing, publicity, and distribution. So whether you've written an inspirational work, a novel, a children's book, poetry, or a biography and want to get it published, you need to call Christian Faith Publishing and do it immediately. Call 800-505-5418 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-505-5418. Again, for your free author submission kit, call 800-505-5418. That's 800-505-5418. Work with a publisher who shares your core Christian values of integrity and honesty. Call Christian Faith Publishing at 800-505-5418 for your free author submission kit.
This is Gilbert. Listen to Gilbert Talks Taxes Saturday mornings from 8 to 9 right here on WCAB 590 AM because, as we all know, taxation with representation has not been such a good idea either.
You know, when you need a plumber, you want someone with a reputation of getting right out to you and getting the job done for you the right way. That'll be Olmsted Plumbing. Since 1973, the Olmsted family has been serving homeowners and builders with the best of service. From unclogging a drain to replacing fixtures and appliances to remodeling jobs, their top quality work, fair prices, and punctual service has made them the area's leading plumbing firm. Eric and Chad are continuing that family tradition, and they'd like to serve you. Call 245-7302. Experience plus equipment equals excellence. Olmsted Plumbing at 245-7302. I'm honored to have a reputable company like Miracle-Ear as part of our family of advertisers here on the Morning Report. Millions of satisfied Miracle-Ear customers around the world have recognized that Miracle-Ear was the right company for them. There is no better respected or well-known brand in hearing aids than Miracle-Ear. A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. Why not schedule your free hearing test by calling 828-368-4126 and talk with Lisa. Find out more about how you can get that free hearing test. There are so many features you might want to ask about. Ask Lisa Terry about it when you're ready for your positive change in your hearing. It's available for you at Miracle-Ear. Forest City office is 1512 West Main Street, Suite 102. Phone number is 828-368-4126. Or if you're close to Shelby, Shelby's 1506 East Dixon Boulevard. You might check with them over there at that office. Lisa is over both of those. Miracle-Ear.
Charles Bent was born in West Virginia. At the age of 23, he became a trader with the Missouri Fur Company. A couple of years later, Bent became a partner. In 1829, he led an expedition to Santa Fe. The expedition was extremely profitable, bringing back to the states furs, mules, and other goods worth $250,000. That's over $5 million in today's money. Bent and his partners created the largest mercantile firm in the Southwest. Charles Bent became increasingly interested in the Taos, New Mexico area. Eventually, he moved there and married a woman from a prominent Mexican family. Because of the influence of his wife's family, Charles was able to associate with the Mexican political elites, and he became a close friend of the Mexican governor. But when the war with Mexico broke out, Charles took the side of the United States. For his support, Charles was appointed the governor of New Mexico. With the main military force moving on to conquer California, and those soldiers who stayed behind showing contempt for the Mexicans and Indians, things got a little dicey for Charles. He lost all support from his Mexican friends, and the local Indians didn't like him because he had traded with their enemy. With a dissatisfied constituency, they decided to recall their governor. Not seeing any formal process in the Constitution, they did it their own way. On January 19, 1847, they attacked Charles Bent, killed and scalped him, and dragged his body through the streets. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
7:17 on this Valentine's Day. Let's go to the phones now and talk with the Deputy Lowry over the Sheriff's Department, find out what's been going on in the past 24 hours. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing this morning?
Doing great, thanks. What's on the report?
In the past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 117 calls, processed 13 arrests, and we have 183 detainees in the jail. Under incident reports, we have an attempted larceny of a motor vehicle reported by Bonnie Toney of Rutherford. We have an incident of felony larceny was reported by Sean Harms of Florida. We have injury to real property. It was reported by Brent Frady of Columbus, North Carolina. We have breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering, reported by Clark Wheeler of Mooresboro. We have damage to personal property, reported by an SRO at RS Central High School. Under arrest reports, we have Eric Calderon of Pinkwood Drive, was charged with assault on a female. We have Hunter Blackwell of Mooresboro, charged with breaking and entering, larceny after breaking and entering, and failure to appear on a misdemeanor. We have Chad Piercy of Forest City, charged with violation of protection order. We have Tyler Pennington of Mooresboro. He was charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of marijuana paraphernalia, and possession of marijuana. And we have Scotty Jackson of Forest City. He was charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor, misdemeanor larceny, and another misdemeanor larceny. And that's all we have for you today.
Deputy Lowry, thank you so very much for that report, and you be safe out there today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
See you. Bye-bye. 19 minutes after 7 o'clock, and we'll get to the next phone call right after we visit the Recliner Center.
The Recliner Center is happy to introduce new styles of Spring Air mattresses. Some come with the cool gel that you're going to love. Remember the days when you could flip your mattress? Well, Spring Air is now offering the flippable mattress. Check out these for a really great night's sleep. The Recliner Center is needing to make room for some new styles of lift chairs, recliners, and sofas, and you're going to get some special deals on the floor models and extra inventory in the store. Now, you always know you get the best deals in town at the Recliner Center, and now's the best time to go shopping. Check on the inventory of new recliners, sofas, and lift chairs coming in. Now, some of the styles have a new water-repellent fabric. Water beads up instead of soaking into the fabric. Leave it to the Recliner Center to offer you the best choices and best prices. Ask to see the new wall hugger style furniture. Hours are Wednesday through Friday 9 to 5 and Saturday 9 to 2. The Recliner Center on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Jessica, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
What's been going on over at your office? What kind of calls have you been getting?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 414 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 36 EMS calls, 12 for rescue. Law enforcement Sheriff's Office responded to 117, Forest City to 71, Lake Lure to 2, Rutherford to 30, Spindale to 56. Fire calls, Forest City responded to an industrial fire alarm, and that's all we've got today.
Thanks, Jessica. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye. Well, across the road over here, they've already opened the gates. They're out in Adam this morning, and they are offering a lot of things. And, by the way, the Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply is offering delivery now. Ask for more details about that when you shop over there. If you need them to deliver those bales of hay or whatever, heavy bags of mulch, let them know that, and they'll be glad to work that out for you. They have large quantity of square and round bales of hay and straw. There's volume discounts. Just ask George about that. Wrangler Sweet Feed, $7.49 for a 50-pound bag. Neutrino Lay-in Pellets, $10.50 for a 50-pound bag. 13% beef commodity feed, 50-pound bag, $6.49. And they have a 20% off on all dog beds. Your dog deserves a new bed, particularly those cold nights. So go see them at Farmer's Friend. Get 20% off. See all the other things inside. They were well stocked over there. Plus inside and outside, you'll find the folks at Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supplies willing and able and happy to serve you. Right across the road here from WCAB, Whiteside Road, Rutherfordton. Ruby Taylor is up next with our report from Danieltown SDO Fire District. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
What's on your report?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls, and on my birthday calendar, I've got Cody Toms, Joyce Tate, Joyce Walker, David Skipper, and Chris Crow having birthdays. Hope these people have a nice day. And anniversaries, Mr. and Ms. Paul Hambrick, Mr. and Ms. Robert Meyer, Mr. and Ms. J.C. Allen, Mr. and Ms. Bill Sutherland, Mr. and Ms. Terry Baynard, and Mr. and Ms. Steve Wood, and I hope these people have a happy anniversary. And the signs are in their legs today and going to the feet tomorrow. Jim, that's all I've got.
A lot of folks got married on Valentine's Day, didn't they?
Yep, I sure did.
That's good. And lastly, thank you, Ruby. You have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
23 minutes after 7 o'clock, and 37 degrees currently, warming up to about 61 degrees before it's all over with today. Cloudy, we may get a little sun out of it, but no heavy downpours of rain expected.
Here's what our customers think about McCurry Deck Chevrolet Buick GMC.
I love my McCurry Deck Buick.
I love my McCurry Deck Chevrolet.
We love our McCurry Deck GMC. We guarantee you'll love McCurry Deck Chevrolet Buick GMC for city.
I am definitely a McCurry Deck customer for life.
I love the price and the McCurry Deck Customer for Life Rewards program. It gives you up to $3,000 or more in rewards.
Take the easy drive to savings. McCurry Deck for a city. Discover the rewards of being a customer for life.
More than 1 million Americans have heart attacks each year, and if you are a loved one who experiences symptoms of a heart attack, every second matters. That's why the emergency department at Rutherford Regional Health System is a chest pain accredited facility. What does that mean to you? It means quality care here at home that could save precious seconds when treating the symptoms of heart attacks. To learn more about Rutherford Regional and its commitment to safe quality care, visit myrutherfordregional.com. 24 past 7 o'clock. Remember, your family deserves a little special treatment in your house. If you've got those hardwood floors you want to cover up, they're looking bad, want something done about them, or if you need new carpet in some of those rooms, maybe the bedroom or your sitting room or whatever you're looking at, your present home or your home in the mountains or your home at the beach, Southern Carpet can handle all of that. They do that for many, many folks, and the many, many folks that they've done business with is pleased and happy with it. Why don't you consult with Southern Carpet? Even ask about that Tarquette flooring, for instance. Only at Southern Carpet, 1512 West Main Street. And you can visit them online on the web at southerncarpet.net and check them out on Facebook even.
And here's Steve up at Rumbling Ball with our report today. Steve, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. Hope you're doing well.
I am so far. How about you?
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I am too. I can use the word so far because I forgot. Am I supposed to do something today or give my wife something?
Yes, you better do
I
that,
left my note. I left the note to do something. I forgot what it was. Anyway, maybe a phone call will do. I'll find out later.
Well, Steve, on an average, men spend double the amount of money on Valentine's Day gifts than women spend.
Yeah, because of the recipients. Yeah, amen. We'll see what happens.
You still got a little time.
I do. In my mind, anyway. Our small lake, our above Mount Lake, is they begin to raise the level of that lake, and it's coming up pretty rapidly, actually. As far as we know, and there was a meeting, it looks like yesterday, down in Lake Lure, and they still plan on leaving the lake at its current levels until March 15th. So we're hoping that changes. We hope that the contractors finish their work maybe a little early, but some of these rain incidents have caused some delays in some of the work. So I'm hopeful, but we'll just prepare for March 15th. So we got the rowers coming in. I believe the first group will be here in about 10 days or so. So we're going to just work around the lower lake. We got those ramps built for them to get out there. So,
whatever on an average, the teams that come in, what do they bring? About 20, 25?
25. We've seen them as many as 50. So,
wow.
Yeah, some of these teams are really huge.
It's a good boost to the economy.
It is, and a lot of these stores know, like Ingles and some of the other stores, know when they come in because they prepare for them because they come in and spend a little bit of money. So we're happy to have them, and it's a good little setup we have for March because March could be a slow month.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they all behave themselves when they're not out rowing. I'm sure they all behave.
Yeah, there's one team that they didn't let them. They suspended them for a year because some hazing incidents. They made them walk around. The freshmen walk around in underwear on top of their pants. But so we used to get tickled at that. But apparently somebody found out, and they said that we're going to suspend this for a year.
Oh, the good old college days.
I'm telling you. Oh, well. But, yeah, that's what's going on here. Not much in terms of any problems associated with some of the bad weather we've had recently. Sounds like we made it through that round. Looks like we could get some more rain today, so we'll see what happens with that.
Well, tomorrow it's going to be warming up into the 70s. You know that.
Oh, yeah, maybe we'll get some evaporation with some of this rain if we get some more. It's a little soggy around here.
People will be going fishing with weather like that, won't they?
Oh, I've heard some talk, yeah. They're already gearing up for it.
Yeah.
So get ready for those fish stories.
Yeah, right. Well, listen, I hope you have a great day up there and enjoy it. And don't forget, Valentine's Day won't last forever.
Oh, yeah, I'll make a note.
All right. See you, Steve.
Thanks, Jim.
That's Rumbling Ball reporter Steve up there at the Gatehouse. 29 now past 7. It is a reminder for all of you guys and gals who forgot this is Valentine's Day. Do a little something if it's nothing but a little box of chewing gum or something. You know what I'm saying. It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide daycare services for an aging parent or loved one. Rutherford Life Care can be just what you're looking for. Rutherford Life Care offers adults a safe and fun place during the day for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and daily activities. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. Call them today and let them answer questions you may have. That's 288-1697, 288-1697. Rutherford Life offers a staff of professionals who show the love and compassion that you entrust your loved ones to. That's Rutherford Life Care Services, located on Thunder Road, Spindale. Again, that phone number is 288-1697. Now we'll check in with Bob Hodge up at the Hudlow Fire District and get our morning report. Bob, good morning to you. How you doing?
Oh, just fine. It's hump day here.
Yes, sir.
And Valentine's Day.
Yes, sir, and halfway through the month already.
right. This month's about half gone here, so about 30-some more days to spring.
Hey, I'm ready for that, I think.
Well, it don't look like tomorrow's going to be a spring day, so I guess we enjoy that day. A little warmer weather there, but
I believe it's teasing us a little bit, don't get us, get us excited about spring, then it's going to turn back off cold again.
I thought it's going to be warm yesterday, but it was cold.
Yeah.
I had to go up to Hendersonville for some tests there, and boy, the wind's blowing cold up that way yesterday. So, but look like the day's going to be a little warmer there.
I believe so.
And Jim, up here with the fire department over the night, we had a call to woods fire on Pea Ridge Road, but it turned out it was just a controlled burn. And other than that, it's been pretty quiet with us there, and maybe it'll stay pretty quiet all day today there. And have a good day up here. And Jim, I hope you have a good day and happy Valentine's Day. And
thank you, Bob. You too.
And you take care, and I'll be talking to you in the morning.
Give your Valentine up there a kiss for me.
I'll certainly do that.
All right, Bob. I'll see you next time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bob Hodge on the radio with us a long time. We appreciate him being with us so devotedly. Well, Save-A-Lot Food Store is having a sale. It ends Saturday, February the 17th. But as long as this lasts, a big 5-pounder ground beef, only $1.79 a pound. Assorted bone-in pork chops, only 99 cents a pound. Crystal 10 28-pack, only $1.99 each. Assorted 2-liter Coca-Cola products, only 79 cents each. And this is only at the Save-A-Lot, only at the local Save-A-Lot. They reserve the right to limit quantities while supplies last. Be sure to get over there and take advantage of these savings at Save-A-Lot in Spindale. And Brenda?
Your car only needs one place to prepare for the cooler months ahead. RS Speedy Lube, Railroad Avenue, Ruth. RS Express Inspection Station can get you back on the road and keep you legal. RS Speedy Lube Station has 2 lanes to get you in and out in no time. They carry wiper blades and will rotate your tires. Complete car care altogether, including transmission flush and car wash. Count on Chris and his team to take care of all your car needs. Make it your first stop. RS Speedy Lube Service Center, Railroad Avenue in Ruth.
Sue is out of pocket today working with all the flowers that have been ordered. She's over at the shop today working. She's not available to be on the report, but we are jumping up to Union Mills to get a report from Miss Brenda Kelly. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you on this beautiful Wednesday morning, or wonderful Wednesday morning?
Wonderful Wednesday. I feel wonderful.
Yeah. I was sitting here looking out the kitchen window earlier, and when the sun was trying to come up, the sky was so pretty. It was red and pink and purple. It was just beautiful. I said, only God could paint a picture like that.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
We take it for granted many times.
That's right. We just need to stop and enjoy the pretty things that the Lord has given us. If we look, we can find it.
It's all around us.
Yeah. We hope everybody's having a good day today. I've got 34 degrees on the front porch. Birthdays today, Drew D. Smith, and my great-grandson, Justice Friday. I don't have anything on Round Hill, so we hope these people have a great old big day. And in ways of announcements, the Gilkey School Community Center is going to have a concealed handgun safety course. The cost is $50. This will be February the 17th. It starts at 8 a.m. For information, you can call 429-7476 or 429-9075. Then we've got an auction at the White House Community Center on Painters Gap Road in Union Mills Saturday, February the 17th. Doors open at 4 p.m. Auction starts at 6. Kitchen opens at 4, and they're going to have a barbecue plate with baked beans and slaw, and that'll be $5. For information, you can call 828-625-4502 or 828-545-7161. And that's all the announcements I've got, or anything going on. I don't know of a whole lot. But I want to thank Sue and Richard for sending me a Valentine. I just thought that was so sweet.
They're so thoughtful.
Yeah, and it meant a lot because, as everybody knows, my Valentine's dead, and I don't get a Valentine no more. So,
yeah. Well,
that was sweet.
That was very nice of them to do that. They're very thoughtful. They send out birthday cards to us, all of us.
Yeah.
At Christmas cards to us, whatever the occasion happens to be. I appreciate them as well.
I know it means a lot, and it don't take much to, people anymore use telephones or their cell phones and stuff to send messages, but if I'm gonna get a message, I like to talk voice to voice.
Yeah, I like to look at them eyeball to eyeball.
Well, yeah, that's good too. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I got a text yesterday after I got off the air. It came while I was on the air, but I didn't have my phone with me. He said, "I'm looking at you on camera. Wave at me," and I didn't see it, so I'm waving at Chad right now. So I hope he's watching on.
It had to be Chad Metz.
Oh yeah. So I'm waving at him right now. Hey, he is a mess. He's always up to something.
He calls me every now and then, and it just does me good when he calls. He's always got something up his sleeve.
He is really quite a young man. I call him young. He's still young, in my opinion.
Yeah, young compared to me. Yeah.
There are approximately 50 million roses given on Valentine's Day around the world. 50 million around the world.
Ooh, that's a lot of roses.
There are approximately 1 billion Valentine's Day cards exchanged every year in the U.S. alone. Approximately 15% of women send themselves flowers on Valentine's Day.
Send them themselves?
Yep, approximately 15% of them. At least 9 million people buy their pets a gift on Valentine's Day. Do you buy your dog a Valentine present?
Not on Valentine's, but I do at Christmas.
On Valentine's Day every year, there are at least 36 million heart-shaped boxes of chocolates sold. 36 million.
That's a lot, yeah.
And on average, men spend double the amount of money on Valentine's Day gifts than women spend.
Well, it's and everything's more expensive at Valentine. A flower that in the middle of January would cost $1 for the florist to buy. At Valentine's, it goes to $2,
I'm sure.
And sometimes more. So that's why, and it just amazes me how what they charge, and then of course the florist has got to charge you. If they pay $2 for it, they got to make money, so they're going to charge you $4.
Sure.
So it's a.
And I'm sure they have to tap on a delivery fee if they deliver them.
That's exactly right, and we should have got into the growing roses years ago, shouldn't we?
Yeah, it'd been nice. So they're hard to.
How many did you say was on Valentine's Day roses? 50 million.
50 million roses given on Valentine's Day around the world.
Yeah.
50 million.
I should have got into the growing roses. I say, who does that? Steve up at Rumlin Ball. Don't he have roses?
He does. Yeah, he's a rose connoisseur. He raises and grows a lot of different roses. I should have asked him this morning if he had any roses.
Do you reckon he's raised some, and that's what he's going to give his wife?
That may be what he's working on. He'll slip out back and cut her a bouquet of roses.
Sure, a bouquet.
He's all right. He's a mess.
He is.
Well, I hope you have a great day up there.
I hope you do too, and enjoy it. And you be sure and remember your Valentine.
I have already.
Oh, that's great. She's a fine lady.
I think I'll keep her.
I don't blame you. I would too.
Thanks, Brenda. Have a good one.
You too. Catch you later.
Bye-bye. It's Brenda Kelly reporting out of Union Mills this morning. It's 7:39 on this Hump Day Wednesday, Valentine's Day.
One of the hottest things going on in automobile world today is the fuel-efficient Ford Escape from Sisk Family Ford. You get more value for your money with the Ford Escape, and you'll appreciate the comfort and the value in this remarkable automobile. Try one on for comfort today at Sisk Family Ford, and whenever you need top-of-the-line service on any automobile you own, be sure to bring it to the experts at Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Well, a good opportunity for you to take your Valentine out for lunch and take them over to Gregory's. You will not be disappointed because the food is always done right. Fresh. They have a lot of choices. Fresh and delicious garden salads there. Burgers, subs, grinders, pastas. You can enjoy a steak or some chicken, whatever your menu choice you like. They can serve it right for you. And we're sending our Valentine couple to be my baby Valentine winners over there Saturday night for a nice, quiet, cozy dinner for two. So Gregory's always serves a good meal, and folks really enjoy that. You can enjoy them, too, Monday through Friday, 11 to 9, Saturdays 4 to 9. They're located right there in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherfordton. Or call them at 287-2171. If you have a carryout you want to take home with you, they'll do that for you. The entire team at Crow's Funeral Home and Cremation Services can help you with options available. They will help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved one. During this time, it's important to turn to someone you can trust and depend on. Crow's Mortuary and Crow's Mortuary and Crematory has a long history of trust and dependability. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory. That's 286-2304. Now we're heading toward Ellenboro to get Luther off center there and see if we can remind him that today is the day he's supposed to give his wife some candy or flowers or some jewelry or something. Luther, are you up to speed on that?
Today she's supposed to give me some candy.
Oh, is that the way it works in Ellenboro?
Huh?
Is that the way it works in Ellenboro? The wives
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Why should the men always have to give to women? Women give to men.
Well, I'm going to move to Ellenboro if that's the way it works.
Yeah. That's the way it works. That's the way it works in my house.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Well, I have the flowers ordered. I'll pick them up today.
Well, good for you. Good for you. I'm proud of you.
And get them to her. Because I know I'll be in the doghouse if I don't.
It's not too comfortable in those doghouses either.
And it gets lonely out there. But we're having a good day. We're going to go out here. We're going to celebrate Valentine's Day. A lot of people celebrate and having a good time. But see, it's far from they had 3 medical calls yesterday. They went by last night, stood by for number 7 in Lattimore while they were out on far there. So everything quiet this morning, starting the day off right. Let's see, don't have any birthdays, but we won't wish happy wedding anniversary to Fred and Susan Sisk, and also Bob and Joyce Forbes, and Sheila and Chris Dobbins. They're all having wedding anniversary today, so I hope they have a great day and enjoy their day. And again, nothing else going on down here. You have a great Valentine's Day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Luther. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you next time.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye. Well, it's always an honor to recognize your birthdays and anniversaries, and you can do that now by calling Todd at 287-3356 and birthdays and anniversaries, and we'll see who else might have been married or born on Valentine's Day. And we'll give away some Daylight Donuts from Granny B's coming up. I want you to visit Drop In. Every morning you can for a sausage biscuit for only $1.29, but I'll tell you something even better. Get a sausage biscuit and a 12-ounce cup of hot and delicious S&D coffee from the Drop-In for only $1.99. Isn't that something? And for lunch, golden fried chicken breast box with potato wedges and a roll, $3.99. Add a 32-ounce fountain drink or iced tea, and you have lunch for under $5. Spring is not far away either, but there are still cold nights ahead. The Drop-In has clean and clear K1 kerosene available at West Main, Oak Street, and the Shallow locations. And for those lawnmowers and weed eaters, remember Sandy Mush location has non-ethanol gas. The Drop-In has you covered 7 days a week with ATM locations. Drop-In and Major Lee's Deli are proud to be Rutherford County Veterans Service Only Platinum sponsor. And I'm proud of that, and I know veterans are as well. All veterans enjoy a 10% discount on all fountain items all day every day. The drop-in source has been serving Rutherford County since 1981. President back then was Ronald Reagan. So come on, support the drop-in. When your name's on the company, you know you want it to be done right. Hutchins Pest Control does that. They do it right. Honest, dependable, and on-time service. And Hutchins Pest Control was voted the best in the business 8 years in a row. They appreciate the confidence you've placed in them. They'll do all they can to make sure that confidence is not deterred. Call them when you want honest, dependable, and on-time service. 287-5171. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control. That number again is 287-5171. That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today. While they're fresh, they're good, they're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Happy birthday. Well, happy anniversary to Lee and Tiffany Smith of Golden Valley. It's their 20th anniversary. Lee works at Morganton Eye Clinic, and Tiffany is a teacher at Rutherfordton Elementary. So we want to wish them both a happy and congratulations. Jay and Sharon Allen, 30th anniversary. They live in Rutherfordton. Christy Dotson works at Forest City Family Practice, lives in Forest City. Drew Smith is having a birthday. Justice Friday. Justice Friday is 10 years old in Spindale. And Justin Fowler of Ellenboro also is celebrating a birthday today. And Cody Toms up in Thermal Valley, lives in Thermal Valley, is 24 today, having a birthday. And Sue and Tim Sperlin, it's their 31st wedding anniversary. We want to wish them a happy, happy anniversary. Good friends of WCAB. We want to wish them all a happy, happy birthday and happy, happy anniversary. And we'll find out who's going to win the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in just a moment.
Have you ever found yourself having unbelievable faith for some great miracle, while at other times you had trouble believing even for the simplest of things? In May of 1995, Randy Reed, a 34-year-old construction worker, was welding on top of a nearly completed water tower outside Chicago. Reed unhooked his safety gear to reach for some pipes when a metal cage slipped and bumped the scaffolding he stood on. The scaffolding tipped, and Reed lost his balance. He fell 110 feet, landing face down on a pile of dirt, just missing rocks and construction debris. When paramedics arrived, they found Reed conscious, moving, and only complaining of a sore back. As he was being carried on a backboard to the ambulance, he said to the paramedics, "Please don't drop me." Sometimes we resemble that construction worker. God protects us from harm in a 110-foot fall, but we're still nervous about 3-foot heights. There is a story told by Jesus of a man who was encouraged to believe for a special healing. The man had some faith, but he also had some doubts. He said to Jesus, "I believe, but I need help with my unbelief." Boy, I sure have identified with that man over the years. Sometimes my faith seems to be able to soar for the biggest projects, while at other times the smallest need can throw me into a tailspin of doubt. We need to be reminded that if God has helped us once, He is capable of doing it again. This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
And a big congratulations going out to Jay and Sharon Allen of Rutherfordton on their 30th anniversary. They just won themselves some Daylight Donuts from Granny B's over in Spindale. And congratulations to our Valentine Grand Prize winners yesterday. It was Ray and Judy Pruitt. Not sure. I think they live over in the Oakland community. I'm not sure, but I believe they live over that vicinity anyway. Ray and Judy Pruitt, our big Valentine Grand Prize winners yesterday. Coming up next hour, we've got at 8:30. We've got Word of Faith in. You have heard, you've been hearing from the national accusers. Now hear from those being accused. No one is reporting their side of the story. Now you can hear the other side right straight from them. Each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 8:30, you can hear members of Word of Faith Fellowship tell their side of the story. Why they're there, what are they doing, and you can hear that this morning again at 8:30. It's an ongoing series paid for by Word of Faith Fellowship. The views expressed on the program are not necessarily the view of the management and staff, but we're happy to have them on expressing their side of the story.
NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. President Trump's personal lawyer says he paid $130,000 to porn actress Stormy Daniels, who once claimed she had an affair with Mr. Trump. Michael Cohen says it was his personal money and he was not reimbursed by the Trump Organization or the Trump campaign. CBS News senior legal analyst Andrew Cohen weighs in.
To the extent this sheds light on Donald Trump and his lawyers and how they handled allegations like this and how they handled money, I could see the special counsel's investigators checking into this, but I don't see it being close to the core of the Russia probe unless it's part of a broader pattern that hasn't yet been made public.
Debate continues in the Senate on immigration and how to deal with those who were brought here as children illegally. Republican Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina spoke on the Senate floor.
We are out of step with most other countries in terms of how we allow immigration into this country. I, for one, think it's reasonable to continue to have a component to allow families to be reunified, people that come over and work visas or people who are coming through whichever immigration process they may choose.
Airline passengers are recounting their terrifying ordeal after part of their plane fell off over the Pacific Ocean on Tuesday. United Airlines Flight 1175 landed safely in Honolulu after an engine cover came off during its flight from San Francisco. Correspondent Chris Van Cleve has more.
United says its pilots followed all the proper safety protocols to safely land that plane. Passengers describe a loud bang and then shaking, and that's when they began to brace for the worst.
A man has died after he stepped in front of a train in North Carolina. The man was hit by a freight train Tuesday in Elm City in Wilson County. Police in Catawba County have charged a man in the death of a 17-year-old girl. The Kannapolis Police Department has charged 39-year-old Maurice Lavon Daniels with first-degree murder and other charges. You're listening to NCN News.
Who is the North Carolina High School Athletic Association?
We're dedicated educators, coaches, and mentors.
We are over 200,000 student athletes.
We are 413 member high schools from small towns and big cities, anywhere from Murphy to Manteo.
We're your neighbors and friends that put on the striped shirts and officiate the games you love every week.
We are making a difference in building leaders of communities and this nation for the next generation.
Who are we? We are high school. We are the NCHSAA.
A Democrat in the governor's mansion, an unconventional Republican in the White House, new state, House, and Senate election maps, all important factors for politics and public policy in North Carolina. What does it all mean? Carolina Journal has the answers, available each month as a free newspaper, every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your #1 source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
North Carolina lawmakers are set to study the idea of breaking up some school districts. A newly formed Joint Legislative Study Committee is scheduled to report by May 1st on whether to recommend passing legislation to provide previously merged districts. Several hikers have finally made it to safety after being stranded on Oregon's Mount Hood Tuesday. One climber was killed after falling several hundred feet. Rescue efforts to save 6 others stretched well into the night. Jamie Yukas is near the base of Mount Hood and has more.
One unidentified climber slid some 700 feet down the face of Mount Hood Tuesday morning.
Some snow or ice broke loose under his feet and he started to fall.
He was able to use his axe to slow his fall for about 100 feet.
And then after that, he just lost his hold and fell another however many 500-600 feet.
The climber was airlifted by a Black Hawk helicopter to a medical center where he was declared dead. He was part of a team of 4 climbers.
A foundation affiliated with the health insurance company Aetna announced a $1 million grant to a nonprofit to alleviate the opioid crisis in the state. The Aetna Foundation and North Carolina's Attorney General Josh Stein presented the grant to the North Carolina Harm Reduction Coalition on Tuesday.
And we're going to see this work in the 5 counties that they've identified: Brunswick, Cumberland, Haywood, Johnston, and Venus.
In the United Kingdom, Valentine's Day is often Conception Day, as CBS's Larry Miller explains.
Valentine's Day passion quite often leads to a November bundle of joy. Britain's National Health Service says intimate romance around Valentine's Day leads to 1,000 more conceptions 9 months later. That's a 5% spike over normal weeks. Only during Christmas do more British women become pregnant.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Get your message to the thousands. Call the WCAB Sales Department today at 287-3356.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. We are just getting word of a shooting this morning near the gates of the headquarters of the NSA, the National Security Administration, just outside Baltimore. It appears that 3 people have been shot and the shooter is in custody. The FBI is on the way to the scene. Amid more questions about the abuse allegations against a former top aide to President Trump and when the White House knew about it, ABC's Karen Travers says the president wants to focus today on roads and bridges.
The White House continues to face tough questions about its response to the Rob Porter domestic abuse controversy. But President Trump today is focusing on infrastructure. He'll meet with bipartisan members of Congress to talk about the $1.5 trillion initiative he released on Monday, a plan that calls for $200 billion in federal spending. The president will later hold a working session to talk about opportunity zones included in the tax bill he signed last year, incentives to businesses to get them to invest in what the White House calls distressed communities. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Wintry weather whipping through South Korea. It's forcing changes at the Olympics. ABC's Alex Stone is there.
The good thing for the athletes and for spectators here, it has gotten a tiny bit warmer. It's not as cold, but it's still extremely windy outside. That is creating problems. More alpine events being delayed until Friday now because the wind just continues to blow.
American snowboarder Shaun White has won the gold in the halfpipe, his 3rd gold. Afterwards, when asked about allegations of sexual harassment, he called them gossip. White settled a sexual harassment lawsuit last year. United Airlines is now promising full refunds for all the passengers on board a flight to Honolulu that lost part of one of its engine covers. Passengers like this woman talked about a loud bang when it happened.
Some people were definitely quite upset. People were crying. We were really nervous. We didn't know what was happening.
America's top dog, a Bichon Frise. Flynn was the best in show last night at the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show here in New York. Today, he gets lunch at Sardi's. You're listening to ABC News.
Do you owe the IRS more than $10,000 in taxes? The government now has tax debt relief programs in place, and you have rights. Call tax representation today. Has the IRS threatened to freeze your bank accounts, take your home, your cars, and garnish your wage? We are the industry experts with negotiating with the IRS, and one of the very few that has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. We'll contact the IRS the same day, putting a stop to bank levies and wage garnishments. Call 800-295-1046. That's 800-295-1046.
It's time to join the millions of people that meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Zoom gives you flawless video, crystal clear audio, and instant sharing across any mobile, tablet, or desktop device. But the best thing about Zoom? It just works. So ditch the distractions, join the movement, and meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Visit Zoom.us to set up your free account today. That's Zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
Mardi Gras ending in violence this year in New Orleans.
At least 2 separate shooting incidents sent crowds scrambling for cover along Mardi Gras parade routes in the New Orleans Uptown and in the Lower Ninth Ward. When the smoke cleared, 3 people had died and half a dozen more were hurt.
It's very disappointing. It's very frustrating because we have been working very, very hard all day.
As the massive post-Mardi Gras cleanup begins, New Orleans Police Superintendent Michael Harrison has detectives looking for suspects in all of the shootings. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Instagram, apparently Russian officials are not happy about videos and pictures of a senior government official on a yacht with a billionaire. Officials say if those pictures and videos aren't taken down, they'll block the sites. This is ABC News.
Are you more than $10,000 in debt? Don't let the credit card companies bully you anymore. There are programs in place to help you get free of your debt, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. Get free of credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and medical bills. Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, too. Don't go bankrupt. You'll have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Call Total Financial now at 866-844-7344. That's 866-844-7344.
I'm Sherry Preston.
You're really missing out if you haven't tried the delicious food at Jesse James Railroad Express. Check out the burgers, clubs, hot dogs, fresh salads, taco salads, chicken and tuna salad plates, and of course, delicious Davis donuts and hand-dipped ice cream. They offer a terrific breakfast with made-to-order fresh just for you. They're open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. Call out orders at 447-4644. Jesse James Railroad Express, Railroad Avenue, Rutherford. Railroad Express has received an award for the best coffee shop and the best hamburgers and hot dogs. And mention this ad and get a regular hot dog with mustard, chili, and onions, only 99 cents, Mondays only.
We are transitioning back to warmer weather today. The real deep cold from yesterday is gone. Now we'll have mostly cloudy skies today, a chance for some showers coming in from the west, mainly in our northern counties for this afternoon. The high in the upper 50s to low 60s. Now tonight we're talking about clouds, maybe some fog, drizzle, light rain, warmer with the low in the low to mid 50s. Tomorrow is partly cloudy and much warmer. We advance into the low to mid 70s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
More clouds today with possibility of slight chance of scattered showers sometime this afternoon. We're going to get up to about 61 for a daytime high, dropping back to 51 tonight, and then 74 tomorrow with highs around 74 tomorrow. Let me say that again, 74 tomorrow with wind gusting to 19 miles per hour. And then on Friday, highs around 71. Let me say that again, highs around 71 on Friday, then on Saturday it's 52, but there is that off and on chance of scattered showers throughout the week. Some more heavy than others. Chances are higher some days than others, but today only about 30% chance of rain. And then tonight, 30%. Congratulations to Jay and Sharon Allen. 30 years together. They live in Rutherford. They won the Daylight Donuts this morning. Jay and Sharon Allen, 30 years together. And Lee and Tiffany Smith, 20 years together. They are Be Kind to people today. They live up in Golden Valley. Lee works at Morganton Eye Clinic, and Tiffany is a teacher at Rutherfordton Elementary. So congratulations to both of these couples on this Valentine's Day for their special, special day. I've got news from here and there coming up here in just a moment.
This wedding is so boring.
Yeah, we need to get this party started. Time for Multiply the Cash Scratch-Offs.
Is that like a new kind of dance-off or something?
No, way better. With Multiply the Cash Scratch-Offs, you can win and multiply your winnings. Here, grab one and pass them along.
Wait, I can win cash?
And then multiply your cash. 5, 10, 20 times, 100.
What's that?
I said 5, 10, 20 times, 100. 5, 10, 20 times 100. 5, 10, 20 times 100. Multiply your winnings.
Multiply your fun.
New Multiply the Cash Scratch-Offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With over $160 million in total prizes, you could multiply your win 5, 10, 20, or 100 times.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning, including break-even prizes, range from 1 in 2.98 to 4.67. Approximate odds to win the top prizes range from 1 in 1.08 million to 2.4 million. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
You do a lot. At Northland, we do internet. You do sports. We do internet that makes games easy to stream. You do movies. We do internet that gives you a world of choices. You do family. We do internet that sounds like the real thing. And now you can get speeds up to 100 megs with internet packages starting at $29.99 a month. Call 888-NORTHLAND or visit getnorthland.com today. All rates and tax and fees not available in all areas. Additional restrictions and conditions apply. Actual speeds may vary. See getnorthland.com/offers for full details.
Customer appreciation sale going on right now through February the 17th at Dragonfly Marketplace, North Washington Street, Rutherford. Beautiful handcrafted jewelry, furniture, vintage items, antique pieces, collectibles, unique wall decor, framed art, and a clothing line. All merchandise is made by local artists. Stop in now for customer appreciation sale through February the 17th. Sign up for door prizes given away every Saturday and receive an additional 10% off your total purchase. Open Tuesday through Friday 10 to 6, Saturday 10 to 4. Phone them at 429-2640. Dragonfly Vendor Marketplace, North Washington Street, Rutherfordton.
Thanks very much, Tom. Now let's look at some stories from here and there. The Daily Courier is reporting about Rutherfordton, touted as a resilient community, and Rutherfordton Mayor Jimmy Dancy is interviewed as part of a North Carolina Realtors Exchange 18 storytelling campaign. Rutherfordton is one of 6 communities across the state to be highlighted as a resilient community by the North Carolina Board of Realtors. They say they intentionally sought out those communities that are tough as nails, that went against all odds. They dug deep, tapped into an innate fighting spirit, and thrived under pressure to grow and adapt, the website states. They reached communities that are not in the spotlight, diligently serving its community members the best way they know how with the resources they have, and we gave these towns and the people a face and a voice. So they are doing Rutherfordton, and congratulations to the town of Rutherfordton, the elected officials, and Mayor Jimmy Dancy for that honor. Other news from here and there this morning. Channel 7 News is reporting that deputies in western North Carolina say a domestic dispute outside of Walmart led to a chase on Interstate 40 that stretched across 2 counties. Some of you may have been on Interstate 40 when this happened. Investigators say the suspect rammed into two sheriff's office cars before he parked the truck in his own backyard. Teddy Justin Rathbone, 27, is charged with several offenses by the McDowell County Sheriff's Office. Deputies were called to Walmart on a report of a domestic incident involving a gun around 11:45 p.m. on Sunday. Rathbone left the shopping area in a green pickup truck and led McDowell County deputies onto a chase on I-40 in both the eastbound and westbound directions. The pursuit entered into Buncombe County, where authorities put down stop sticks to try to end the chase. Deputies followed Rathbone off the interstate onto some back roads, US 70 and Flat Creek Road. It's there where McDowell County investigators say the suspect rammed 2 of the police officers' cars. No one was injured. The chase ended when deputies say Rathbone parked in the backyard of his home on Flat Creek Road. That's where he was arrested. He's being charged with 2 counts of fleeing to elude arrest, plus charges of driving while license revoked, possession of drug paraphernalia, reckless driving to endanger, and driving left of center. Doesn't all these stories end up with drug paraphernalia somewhere on their possession or in the cars? Doesn't it always end up with their overdosing or something? Well, this story out of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, this woman who led police on a chase told police officers that she was Mother Mary en route to pick up baby Jesus, and she had permission from God to speed. WDRB-TV cites an arrest report saying a Kentucky trooper attempted to pull over 52-year-old Connie Allen of Goulitsville on Saturday, but she ignored him. A high-speed chase ensued. Another trooper was eventually able to pull in front of Allen, forcing her to stop. He approached her car with his weapon drawn, but she refused to get out and show her hands. The report says she became compliant when he hit her window with a police baton. She also told police she had died 5 years ago. She's charged with several offenses. It's unclear why she felt that she was Mother Mary, and had to go get Jesus. Probably drugs, wouldn't you say? Down in York, South Carolina, authorities say burglars in South Carolina broke into a house where they cooked chicken wings and drank RC Cola. The Rock Hill Herald reports that says a 77-year-old victim said he came home Saturday to find the house and vehicle ransacked. The report says the suspect left a pan of cooked chicken wings on the stovetop and stole food and a car battery. A neighbor told police that someone had tried to enter his house the previous night. No arrests so far at this reporting have been made. This is Valentine's Day, of course, and the FBI is warning people of online romance scams. Just in time for this day, the FBI is warning of online dating scams. The Bureau received more than 15,000 reports linked to romance scams last year, with more than half of those complaints involving losses of money. Over the past 3 years, those scams cost Americans up to $210 million. Debbie Montgomery Johnson signed up for an online dating service after the sudden death of her husband, Lou. In 2010, reports CBS News' Tony Dockapule, I wasn't lonely, desperate lonely. I wanted someone to talk to, Johnson said, explaining why she signed up. I thought, that's safe. I can do it from my home. That's where the widowed mother of 4 met a British businessman who called himself Eric Cole. I talked to him a few times. We messaged every day. Johnson says she and Cole engaged in a 2-year online relationship but never met in person. Over the course of that year, Johnson says she gave Cole more than $1 million in increments. At this point, your heart rules your head, and I was doing what my heart wanted me to do, she said. In 2012, Johnson says her life stopped when Cole came clean over video chat and revealed who he really was, a young man in Nigeria. Big smile on his face. Can we keep this going? And I'm thinking, can we keep this going? Are you out of your mind, she said. Johnson's story is not uncommon. The FBI says romance scams account for the largest online financial crime losers. Once a victim sends money to a scammer, they'll put them on a sucker list. According to Agent Steve Shapiro, who oversees the FBI's confidence fraud program, the truth of the matter is the victims tend to be well-educated and unfortunately have some kind of emotional vulnerability. Shapiro says romance crimes are rising as online dating popularity increases. In 2018, with 15% of American adults now having used online dating or a website or an app. You can shoulda, coulda yourself to death. I will not do that because it was part of my life and I'll learn from it, she said. She was able to get her money back. She was not able to get her money back, but she did eventually remarry a different man she met through friends. Another heads up, we talk about these scams a lot on this program because they're so prevalent and folks are indeed vulnerable, particularly during emotional times. They're very vulnerable. If it's somebody you do not know, do not send money to anyone. And the IRS does not call you and tell you you owe them money. Don't give your money, your bank card number, your Social Security. Don't give anything to anybody you do not know. Just a word of caution. It's 17 past 8 o'clock. The Sheriff's Report coming up in just a moment with Deputy Lowry.
Hello, this is John Higgins, pharmacist and owner of Smith's Drugs of Forest City. I would like to take this moment to thank all of our customers for their patronage and loyal support over the past year. We look forward to meeting the needs of our customers in everything we do at Smith's Drugs of Forest City. And we're grateful for you and the pleasure we have of serving the residents of Rutherford County. Have a happy and safe New Year from all of us here at Smith's Drugs of Forest City.
Call on Bostic Florists for all your floral needs. They specialize in elegant arrangements. Choose from large selections of tropicals, fresh cut, European, dish gardens, contemporary, or the traditional arrangements, silk or dried, gourmet, fruit, or gift baskets, scented candles on high-style floral designs, weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, or any special occasion. You can trust the expertise and professional service of Bostic Florists. They're on Main Street in Bostic, or call them at 245-2884.
Hello, this is Brian King, and we've been proudly serving Rutherford County and its citizens for the past 20 years. Over those years, we've expanded to 12 different locations all across western North Carolina and upstate South Carolina, and we're excited to be a part of the community. We really appreciate all the times that you've trusted our office over the years, and we want to make sure that you know that we're right here to serve you. Looking forward to see you at King Law Offices right here in Uptown Rutherford.
Coin collectors, you'll be happy to know that Norm's Coins has received the 2018 Silver Eagles, the 2018 Panda Bear coins, and all proof sets from 1955 and up. They make great birthday gifts. Betty is staying on top of the coin market and can assist you with anything you might be looking for. If she doesn't have it in stock, she can get it for you. Coin books, coin supplies, those coin rollers are all available for you. Norm's Coins, right inside Butler's Jewelry in downtown Forest City, is open Wednesday through Saturday. Get your 2018 Silver Eagles before the supply is all gone. Now here is Deputy Lowry with the Sheriff's Report.
In the past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 117 calls, processed 13 arrests, and we have 183 detainees in the jail. Under incident reports, we have an attempted larceny of a motor vehicle reported by Bonnie Tony of Rutherford. We have an incident of felony larceny was reported by Sean Harms of Florida. We have injury to real property. It was reported by Brent Frady of Columbus, North Carolina. We have breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering, reported by Clark Wheeler of Mooresboro. We have damage to personal property, reported by an SRO at RS Central High School. Under arrest reports, we have Eric Calderon of Pinkwood Drive was charged with assault on a female. We have Hunter Blackwell of Mooresboro charged with what we have for you today.
Hello, this is Dwayne.
Features its walk-in services at Forest City Family Care at 212 Allendale Drive, Forest City, just behind the Tri-City Mall. Those needing walk-in care enjoy the same great services, but now at the new location. They continue to operate Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. The scope of services remain unchanged for the walk-in patients. When you don't have an appointment but need to be seen quickly, we hope you'll choose the walk-in services now located at the rear entrance of Forest City Family Care. Variety makes radio listening a pleasure. We have it. News, weather, sports, talk shows, today's country hits, and yesterday's memories. WCAB Rutherfordton.
You placed gold on my finger. You brought love like I've never known. You gave life to our children, and to me a reason to go on. You're my bread when I'm hungry. You're my anchor in life's ocean, but most of all, you're my best friend. You're my bread when I'm hungry. You're my shelter from troubled winds. You're my anchor in life's ocean, but most of all, you're my best friend.
His final run before becoming the first American male to win the gold at 3 Olympics. After his win, White was criticized on social media and questioned in the press about allegations made in a lawsuit by a former drummer in his rock band. The woman says White sexually harassed and refused to pay her. The lawsuit was settled last May. After his gold medal win, White was asked at a media conference that the lawsuit might tarnish his reputation. He dismissed the allegations made against him in the 2016 lawsuit as gossip.
I am who I am, and I'm proud of who I am, and my friends, love me and vouch for me, and I think that stands on its own.
Reporters attempted to follow up about the lawsuit, but White rushed off the stage as reporters continued to throw questions at him about the allegations. The combined Korea women's hockey team finally has its first goal of the Olympics, courtesy of a pair of Americans. Randy Hisu Griffin scored at 9:31 of the second period on the Koreans' 33rd shot of the games in their third game overall. She grew up in Cary, North Carolina. Her mother is from South Korea. Griffin's goal was set up by Marissa Brandt. She now lives in a suburb of the Twin Cities in Minnesota, and she's playing for the country where she was born. Japan held off Korea 4-1 for its first Olympic victory in women's hockey. On the local ice, Justin Falk had his first career hat trick. Jeff Skinner scored twice, and the Carolina Hurricanes routed the shorthanded LA Kings 7-3 last night in the final game of the Hurricanes' 8-game homestand at PNC Arena in Raleigh. Falk's 3 goals came in a span of 12:21 as Hurricanes raced out to a 5-0 lead. He also became the 10th defenseman in NHL history to score a natural hat trick. This is NCN Sports.
The Powerade State Games of North Carolina are coming this June to the Piedmont Triad. Registration is open for athletes of all ages and skill levels in 24 different sports. The Powerade State Games feature 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on the largest sports festival of the year. Visit PoweradeStateGames.org today. The Powerade State Games are brought to you by BB&T, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, and Lowe's Foods. For more information, visit PoweradeStateGames.org.
A Democrat in the governor's mansion, an unconventional Republican in the White House, new state, House, and Senate election maps, all important factors for politics and public policy in North Carolina. What does it all mean? Carolina Journal has the answers, available each month as a free newspaper, every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your #1 source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
Peyton Manning is leading one more drive on a huge stage. The two-time Super Bowl winning quarterback will serve as honorary pace car driver for the 60th running of the Daytona 500 this weekend. He'll be behind the wheel of the Toyota pace car and lead the 40-car field to the green flag to start the Great American Race. Manning joins a list of Daytona 500 celebs that includes Academy Award winner Charlize Theron, retired NASCAR driver Dale Earnhardt Jr., and country music group Rascal Flatts. The new owner of the Carolina Hurricanes has a soft spot for his team's old identity, the Hartford Whalers. Tom Dundon bought the team a month ago and has brought back the old Brass Bonanza fight song and selling gear with the Whalers logo in the team store. Under his leadership, the Hurricanes have completely reversed the way they view, market, and appreciate their past. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
We are transitioning back to warmer weather today. The real deep cold from yesterday is gone. Now we'll have mostly cloudy skies today, a chance for some showers coming in from the west, mainly in our northern counties for this afternoon. The high in the upper 50s to low 60s. Now tonight we're talking about clouds, maybe some fog, drizzle, light rain, warmer with the low in the low to mid 50s. Tomorrow is partly cloudy and much warmer. We advance into the low to mid 70s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Cloudy skies here in the foothills and 38 degrees. We're warming up to about 61, but we may have a few scattered showers sometime throughout today. Only a 30% chance of that happening. But tomorrow it's going to be springtime. 74 for a daytime high with wind gusting to about 19 miles per hour. 71 on Friday. But there is all that ever-loving chance of precipitation popping up a little bit each day throughout the week. The rain's in the forecast every day, but some days only 30%, some days only 20%, but some days it's up to about 50%. But right now, though, let's enjoy this wonderful Wednesday. Here in the foothills, 29 past 8 o'clock and 38 degrees. Welcome to the Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith Responds.
Good morning, everyone. This is Charles and Connie Davies. We're here with you today doing our radio show. Mark could not be with us, so we're going to switch gears a little bit today. We are ministers, associate ministers at the Word of Faith Fellowship. We want to thank Rutherford County today for listening in to this show. We've been here now for several months, hosting different members of our church that are sharing their stories with Rutherford County about what God has done to change their lives. And today's our turn, and we've been looking forward to this day to share with you what God has done in our lives to change our marriage. You know, there's a real problem in America today. There's a increasing rate of divorce in this country, and we could have been among those numbers had we not come here to get help. About 32 years ago, actually. So before we get started with our story, though, we really wanted to address some of the things that are being said about our church. You know, we've been here, like I said, for 32 years, and we've raised our children here. We are shocked at some of the allegations that are being said, the media, the gossip, the rumor that's being said about our church among many people, not just here, but in throughout the state. And except for the fact that the Word of God tells us that if we choose to live our lives godly and holy, we will suffer persecution. And, you know, that is the determination that we have in our hearts. A young lady was here several weeks ago, Daniela Calder, and she made a statement that's so true, that those of us who want to serve God, we're still here serving God. If we came here because we wanted help and to serve God, then we're still here, and that is exactly true. We're still here. We're planning to stay here. Our children are planning to stay here. They're all adults right now, and so we're going to share with you in the next 30 minutes or so our story, how we got here, and what God has done to change our lives individually, what He's done to change our marriage, and what He has done for our family. We are living epistles, the Bible says. We should be testimonies of the miracle-working power of God. And I hope that our testimony today will encourage some of you that may be having some problems in your personal lives.
And to see what God's done in Connie and I's life and our 3 children's life, it's living proof that these allegations are totally lies. And I just want to start just by giving you a little background of my life. I grew up in Maryland. My dad was a CPA, an attorney. He worked for the federal government. He worked for the Security and Exchange Commission. He was actually vice president. I attended a Southern Baptist church up there at age 7. I said the sinner's prayer. I was water baptized. Our family became members. And then I was active in my teenage years in campus life. I was very active in sports throughout my schooling, and then decided to go to Lenoir-Rhyne College in Hickory, North Carolina. Obviously now it's Lenoir-Rhyne University. I played 1 year of football. I played with Chuck Summey and Bill Young from this county. My coach was Jack Huss, who actually lives in my neighborhood, and I had the opportunity to see him every once in a while. I graduated from Lenoir-Rhyne with a business administration degree. I went to Winston-Salem for my first job with Lanier in sales, selling dictation equipment, and then I switched jobs and I worked for State Merchants Patrol, a security guard company. I was in sales and management. But then I felt a call, the call to God, to go in the ministry. I became ordained with the pastor Larry Boyd, and I started helping troubled young men. In fact, I was living in a 2-bedroom apartment at that time, and I had 4 troubled young men living with me, and at that time I did the best I could to try to help them. It was then that I started attending the Ronaldo Presbyterian Church in Winston-Salem, and that's where I met Connie, my wife. Connie, you want to share a little?
Well, I came from High Point, North Carolina. My family's the Allred family. We had a family business. So our family was very close. We were a very close-knit group. We worked together, lived together, played together. I had a very good childhood. However, when I was a small child, my mother took me to church. And as a small child, I always had a sense of God in my life. It's like I felt like He was always there with me. So, that had a great influence on my life, the things that I learned in Conrad Baptist Church. But when I got a little bit older, my mother stopped going to church. So because I wanted to continue going, I went with my grandmother. My grandmother was not going to the Baptist church. She was going to the Methodist church. So we developed a very close relationship. In fact, I'm sure that much of what ended up in my life was because of her prayers. When I was 9 years old, I went to a Billy Graham crusade, and that's where I really felt God beginning to change my heart. I remember going up as a 9-year-old to pray, and my mother went with me, not because of herself, but just to be with me so I wouldn't go forward alone. And I can honestly say that something was working in my life. I continued to go to church with my grandmother until I went to college. And when I graduated from high school, I went to Queens College in Charlotte, which is now Queens University. Both of our colleges grew pretty quickly after we left. They did. And but I went to Queens. I got a degree in American Studies. I've always had a real appreciation for our country, our nation, the sacrifice that has been made in our nation for us to have what we have. So I now, because of that, I teach American government at our Christian school and stay involved somewhat in some things that are going on politically. So that's a little bit of my background. I eventually moved to Winston-Salem. My first job in Winston was working in guest services at the Hyatt Hotel, and I was there for less than a year when they made me the personnel director. I love people. I love working with people. I love serving people, so that was really a good fit for me when I got out of college, although it had nothing to do with my major. At that time, I just wanted a job. eventually I went into the ministry as well. There was an organization that started in Winston called Net Ministries. The purpose of this was to provide a venue for Christians throughout the city who could go and fellowship with each other, get to know each other. So, the idea of denominationalism for me was something that was never an issue. If you wanted Jesus, that was good enough for me. So I had friends in the Baptist church, Methodist church, Lutheran church, Presbyterian church, people that came out of every church, and just enjoyed fellowshipping with God's people. Like Charles says, it's in Winston-Salem that we met. A mutual friend of ours introduced us in Renolda Presbyterian Church, where we were eventually married in November 21st, 1981, 36 years ago. So.
Yes, seems like a long time ago, but in another way, it seems like it was just yesterday.
That's right.
So anyway, we did get married, and then I started doing missionary work. In fact, we got married, as Connie said, in November 21st, 1981. September 1st, 1982, Connie and I took off for Madras, India. We spent 3.5 months there doing missionary work. We learned a lot. And we experienced a lot. Came back, and then I started doing other missionary work. I went to Haiti a couple times, went to Belize 3 or 4 times, went to England and Wales for a month. But in the process of doing all the missionary work, we noticed in our marriage that strife just started happening and got stronger and stronger.
But one thing that's true, you can see by even where we've come from and our what we were involved with, that in our heart we wanted to serve God and we wanted to serve God's people. Right. But we had problems, just like everybody has problems. We had problems in our marriage.
Yes. When I'm looking back, I can see how, I wanted to look good on the outside, but all the things that were in my life that I didn't understand, I just shoved them down and became hard, became indifferent, and it was at that time that we knew that a change needed to take place in our life.
Well, the change I knew needed to take place when I noticed that at times situations would happen that I would get very frustrated and very angry. And, I had a problem growing up. I was a perfectionist, and I wanted everything in my life to be perfect. And even to the extreme that when I was about 17 years old, I was anorexic, and I almost died when I was 18 years old because I had an image of who I wanted to be and what I wanted to be, and I wasn't that way. And so I tried to force myself to be something that God did not want me to be, and that creates a lot of frustration and anger. So when our marriage was not, the fairy tale story, as a lot of people, want to dream about, I started getting very angry and very frustrated with my marriage. And I remember the one day that I got so angry that I went to Charles and I hit him. Now we were in Winston-Salem, we had not come here, but I hit him in the chest and I wanted to hurt him. When I did that, something happened on the inside of me. I thought, what is wrong with me? I'm supposed to be a Christian. I'm not supposed to act this way. I'm not, I knew. You can't deny there's something wrong if you want to hit your husband or your wife and hurt them. And I realized there was something going on in me that I needed help with. And, I didn't understand what was going on, but I went to God and I started studying the scriptures, and God began to convict my heart about what was going on with me. But I really didn't understand spiritually everything that was happening. It was like, it's like it says in the book of John chapter 7, it says, why is it that I do the things I don't want to do and the things I want to do, I can't do? That's kind of what I said. Oh, miserable, Romans 7. I'm sorry, Romans. And it says, oh, miserable and wretched man that I am. That's kind of what I felt like at that time. And I remember, I felt desperate. I knew something was not right. And I went to my Sunday school teacher. God was convicting my heart. And I went to him and I said, Farron, there's something going on in me. I don't understand what it is, but I need help. And God had taken me to several scriptures, like in Hebrews, where it says, the soil that repeatedly gets the rain but produces thorns. That's what I felt like, that I wasn't producing good fruit in my life. And there were ministers that came to our church and were preaching, and every time it was almost like I was sitting in that sanctuary and they were preaching to me. I felt conviction, but I did not know how to change. And that was a very frustrating feeling for me because I did not want to feel what I was feeling on the inside, and I really didn't understand what I was feeling.
And because we knew several ministers, I went to several ministers in Winston-Salem and opened up my heart and told them, I said, this is how I feel. Things aren't right in my heart. And things aren't right in our marriage, and they didn't know how to help us.
No, in fact, some almost acted as though that's not unusual, that's normal, and we knew it wasn't normal to be this way. A Christian couple should not be acting this way, should not be having these kind of problems. And by this time, too, soon about that time, we had our first child.
Yeah, we did. And then we were aware that God had a change for us because we were crying out. We wanted help.
We wanted help.
We wanted help. And so at that time, I received someone gave me an invitation to become assistant minister up in Maryland. And we talked about it. And
that's where your mom was going to church.
Right. And we talked about it, and we realized that, with where we were spiritually, we didn't have anything to give. The Bible says you can only give what you have. And what we had as far as our life, we didn't have anything to give to anybody. We had strife. Yes, I looked good on the outside. Yes, I knew scriptures, and I could quote a good message. But on the inside, we knew we needed help. And so instead of trying to fool ourselves, we decided, that is not what we need to do.
In fact, we actually even took a trip to Maryland thinking that might actually be it. But when we got there, we realized we cannot do this.
We can't.
God said it was just not the will of God for us.
And, for time's sake, through a series of events, someone gave us Sam and Jane's number and said, you may want to go and meet them and see, go to their church. And we did. We came several times back. What year was that?
The first time we came was in the fall of 1983, October of 1983.
Right. And at that time, the church...
No, excuse me, it was 85. Justin was born in 84.
Yep.
85.
And so at that time, I think there were maybe 20 to 30 people in the church.
There weren't many.
I know it. And all, but we felt loved, and we felt accepted, and we realized that Sam and Jane were genuine people, that they didn't try to put on a facade, and they didn't try to act like, they always had their act together. They opened up their heart and said, we've gone through struggles, but this is how Jesus has helped us. And so they're able to open up their heart and be honest and be real, and we saw that. And then, honey, tell them what happened in January 1st.
Well, January 1st, we had come here that October and had visited, and then we came back and forth several times, not on any particular schedule. We weren't members here. We would just visit, and usually we'd have a little situation where we got in an argument or something. That's when we decided we better come visit again. We needed some more prayer. So we would make a trip 2 hours down the road. It didn't matter what it took, but we would come to get help. So finally, January the 1st, we woke up. It was the first Sunday in January, and I told you about how I'd gone to my Sunday school teacher, and we'd tried to get help there. But we woke up, got ready to go to church, and I just got this pit in my stomach. I thought, I just can't go back. I can't go back to the church. I didn't
the church
understand the church we were
in Winston-Salem.
Right. I just couldn't go back there. And I loved the people. Those people were our dear, dear friends. They were like family. We fellowshiped with them. We'd spend most of our adult years with these people. We loved them dearly, but it was like I felt like I couldn't go back. And so we didn't know what to do, but we weren't going to miss church because we were used to going to church. I mean, that's one thing we were going to do. So Charles said, well, where do you want to go? What do you feel like we need to do? I said, I feel like we need to go back to Sam and Jane's church today. So he said, okay, fine. So we packed Justin up. He was almost 2 years old. We packed him up really quick and raced down the highway and got to church a little bit late that day. But we came in, as we had several times. After the service was over, we went out to eat and then got in the car and started home. And as we were going down Highway 64, I just felt this. I felt God speaking to me. This is home. This is where you need to be. This is where you're going to get help.
And we both
and then I turned to him.
We both looked at each other, and we both knew this is where God wanted us. You know, the scripture's true. Every day of our life, in Psalms 139, it says every day of our life is written in a book. And, you know, and when you find out what the will of God is for your life and you obey, you just know in your heart you're doing what God wants you to do. And when we came, we knew it was the will of God.
And even though we didn't agree on much during those years, that was one thing we agreed on. We agreed we needed to come here.
So then we came here.
Wait a minute, that was almost like God translated us. It's like it happened so fast. We just knew it was God, and we haven't regretted it
For
since.
time's sake, we're going to have to move on.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But so we came here and we started getting help, and I never forget the time when we had prayer at our church, and I was able to be honest with God. I was able to be honest with myself and just open up my heart, because as I said, I always shoved things down. That was the way you deal with it. You just push it down, and that's why I was hard on the inside. And I just said one simple thing. I said, God, I hurt. And I remember weeping like a baby for probably about 20, 30, I don't know how long. But when I got up from weeping, I was a changed man. And the hurt had left me. And I remember realizing I didn't have to fear being hurt anymore. Because I had Jesus I could go to, and I could open up my heart. But I also realized I had to be honest, and I had to be real with myself, and I had to be real and honest with God. And that was the beginning for me. And then with our marriage, I can tell you that God began to show us that Connie was not my problem, and I wasn't Connie's problem, that we had a common enemy, and it was the devil. And the devil was our problem.
Exactly, and we were reminded many times in John 10:10, which you've heard this scripture before, is that the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy from God's people. And it doesn't matter. He's no respecter of persons. He doesn't discriminate. If you are a human being, the devil is going to try to destroy your life. And we had been ignorant of his devices. We didn't understand what had happened to us until we came here and began to get help.
And then the other thing we realized, when it came to decisions and places where we didn't agree, instead of I'm right and you're wrong, or you're right and I'm wrong, it was we didn't care whether we were right or wrong. We wanted to know what truth was, because we knew that Jesus had truth. And then when we did that in our lives, we realized that most of the time both of us were wrong, because we might have said the right thing, but our attitude was wrong. And God began to show us that instead of pointing the finger and making excuses why we feel the way we do, that when I remember Isaiah 1, where it says the ox knows his owner, the ass his master's crib, but we didn't know to go to God. And out of that, God said, animals know who to go to, but I didn't know to go to God. And because I didn't know to go to God, then I had attitudes, and I had hurts, and I had disappointments. And if you read on, it talks about you're full of hurts and wounds and just
putrefying sores.
And putrefying sores. And then in 1995, when we came into some of the major persecution, I remember Jane preached. I remember it like it was yesterday. She preached, "Are you really born again?" And at the end, she says, each one in this church needs to ask God if you're really born again. And at that time, I had so much pride in my life, because after all, I said the sinner's prayer when I was 7. I was water baptized. I was in the Baptist church. And then, and after all, in Winston-Salem, I became an ordained minister. I helped people. I did missionary work. After all, I came to Word of Faith Fellowship. I've been in Word of Faith Fellowship. You know, I've done all the right things. And so out of all that and my pride, I never could humble myself and ask God genuinely from my heart, am I really born again? Mm-hmm. But I remember when associate minister Chris Hall came to me. And I remember, and if I cry, it's because it means so much to me. He came and he said, Charles, Jesus means something to me. When I looked in his eyes, I knew he meant it. I knew it was real. And I knew I couldn't say it. And I knew Jesus wasn't real in my life, and I couldn't mean it. That even though I'd say, I'm born again, I love God, I serve God, it wasn't real like it was real in his life. You know, and I'm so grateful that out of that place, I allowed God to convict my heart and see that I had not served, I had not given Jesus my whole life.
You're not surrendered.
I'm not surrendered. You know, I think back, and in fact, I just shared this in our church recently because there's people in our church that still haven't given a full surrender and still aren't born again. I said, you know, and when I grew up in Baptist church, I remember singing, I surrender all. But you know, when I said the sinner's prayer at 7, I didn't understand what that was. And I never did surrender all. I always did it my way. I served God my way. I did things my way. It was Charles Davies making the decision of how he wanted to do it. And you know, I think about Jesus. He is our example. You know, before he died, he set the greatest example of all. He laid down on that ground in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he says, not my will, but your will. And I found out that to be truly born again, you lay down your life and you say, God, not my will, but your will. And it's not just a one-time thing like I thought. Mm-hmm. It's every day. It's a commitment of your heart. And when it's a commitment of your heart and it's every day, it means something to you because the Holy Spirit comes into your heart and you truly become born again. I see it clearly now. Before, I was blinded. You know, I sung the song, I surrender all, but it didn't mean anything to me.
And you know, and when you make that surrender and you've given your life to Jesus, you know, and you have that relationship, then it's like things start working. It's the will of God comes in your life, and Charles and I both have made that decision to surrender our will to God. And because we individuals, as individual people, we have a relationship with Jesus, then Jesus has brought our relationship together. Now we have a relationship with each other that is beyond anything that I ever could have asked. And I'm so grateful for what God has done in our lives, what God has done in our marriage, and what he's done in our family. We could go on and talk about all that God has done, but we want Jesse and Carol to come and sing a song that means a lot to us. Occasionally, the older married group in our church get together and we sing this song because we are living testimonies. Every person in our church is a living testimony of what God has done, so they're going to sing this for us.
We are living testimonies of his great and mighty power. Our hearts have changed, our lives have changed. We are not the same. We don't think and live the way we used to. We give all the praise and credit to our God, who is forming us and making us into the image of his Son. We have come to share with you all that Jesus has been walking us through in order to change our lives. We are living testimonies of his great and mighty power. Our hearts way we used to. We give all the praise and credit to our God, who is forming us and making us into the image of His Son. We have come to share with you all that Jesus has been walking us through in order to change our lives, in order to change our lives.
You know, I think it's important for people to know the facts about what God has done since we've been at the Word of Faith. He's restored our marriage. We are blessed. We have a precious home, beautiful, precious home. We have 3 lovely children. Our children have gone to college. They've excelled in college. They summa cum laude, student of the year. They've gone on successful lives. And
professionals.
They're all professionals. And it's all because they've learned at the Word of Faith that if it's God's will for you to do something, whether schooling or whatever it is, you give your heart if it's God's will. And they've excelled, and they're precious. And we have a precious family, and we couldn't ask for anything more.
And that includes 4 wonderful grandchildren that we love and get to see every day.
Yes.
We're just so happy with what God has done. This is just one story. We have so many stories. I told someone that, if every person in our church wrote a book, we would have a full library of stories that are true stories of what God has done in our lives.
That's right. And it is hard to put everything in 30 seconds, 30 minutes.
But we want to thank you again for joining us this morning. We want to remind you that we do have a website for those of you that might be listening in for the first time. Our website is wordoffaithfellowship.org. That is our website. If you have any questions or comments that you want to make to us, you can email us at www.truth@wffnc.org. Again, we want to thank you for listening in this morning and remind you that we will be back again on Friday morning at 8:30. Thank you so much, Rutherford County.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Constant weather updates, talk shows, contests, today's country hits, and yesterday's memories. Come to think of it, I guess you're listening to it. WCAB. 24/7 WCAB is serving the foothills of the Carolinas. Learn more about us at www.wcab